Hello, this is Robert Cooper. I'm a code crafter. I'm not a programmer. I have never had any formalized training, learning. No one's ever showed me anything. Everything I've done and what I'll be explaining right now is from the seat of my pants over about a 20-year period. And I only got serious about 3 to 6 months ago. I can't even remember really when I started, but probably about 5, but I call it 3 to 6. As you get older, you don't remember as much, and that's what I am. I'm pretty old. This particular template is a collapsible uh, uh, um, process enabler. It's not just a display template. These I'm using JavaScript fetch command to bring in these videos here, and of course I'm using iframe there and an iframe here. Can't always use JavaScript because it actually brings the page, the content into a file or the tab. It makes an inner HTML section, right? So it loads a file. It doesn't load code per se. Like you couldn't take and bring in a YouTube embedded video code right into the file. It has to come right into the tab. It has to come from a file. It can come from a database that could act like a file. And that's what I want to discuss, is that what I'm doing is, in my previous videos I talked about an input terminal for coding, input coding. And what that does is it downloads the code or the that you drop in or create to a particular file name. So I envision being able to create these files based on the tab you're using, and it would write the file to a particular name. It may have a particular prefix to make it so Bash can understand what the process is. And what Bash does is it takes and it puts that file, manipulates it to what extent it gets programmed in. You know, if I want to clean it up, or like I do on some of the files, or if I want to write that information that the user put in the input terminal to a file that's predetermined. So it creates a flatline database. You look here and, well, I don't like this, and so you click another link and it opens up an input terminal for that tab. You make change or add to it, basically, and then download the file. Bash, which is listening to the download directory, sees that particular file name and extension, takes it, appends the file, replaces the whole section, just depends how it's set up, and then you go back and refresh the page, and then new data is back in there. So I envision this is a single web page, and I'd have several of these, and I'd switch between them. Like this one here does videos and some examples that I've used about the coding, but mainly it's going to be doing videos. And I may have another one for personal information, another one for programming utility sites, just all about programming that I do, that I need. One person might say, well, why do it this way? Okay, well, if I have 30 different things that I have to go to, and they're all different pages, do I want 30 different tabs on top, or 30 different icons on my desktop? I could have 30 different tabs here, and I can go to tab, back and forth. The data, as long as I don't refresh the page. Now, if you have a security a login like a cPanel or maybe your hosting company or something like that, or a bank even, that can time out from non-activity, right? But it's no different. They don't see this as anything other than you're linked to them. I've already tested this on CPAL and it works perfect. And I've done other ones too that require a password. You can't do like Facebook and GitHub and Yahoo and Yahoo Mail because they won't allow cross-domain access across two different domains, and that's what this is doing. This page here comes off. It comes from I'm on my Lowe's Camp website. This page comes from my me2pc.com site. So it's coming across, but I had to enable that. And there's a way of doing that. So my point is this, is that these tabs, with the addition of being able to basically use downloading and reading from files with the JavaScript fetch, and it can be done with PHP, but you really have to be a real programmer to do PHP, and it's a lot more time consuming too for me. But the JavaScript that I'm using is very simple. So basically Java can read the files locally or online. The system can take an input form, save it to a file. Bash takes that file and manipulates it based on what's being asked to do, basically. So it's a whole new system of reading, not writing, but downloading, manipulated by Bash, and then putting back where the browser, you can see that same data or new data, depending how it's done. That's not possible with anything else. You'll see people on there, oh, emulate this and do this and that, and I'm using this particular API or this special GitHub coding. None of them do that. None of them do what I'm doing right here, or what this can do. Is this can create a flat file database system, because you have in and out now, a presentation system for videos. So I'm going to have a page all for videos. I'm going to have a page for an inventory system, a whole complete inventory system of using the JavaScript fetch command to read the data into the terminal in these tabs, right? Because that's what I'm doing here. And then if I want to write to it, I use the download with special file names. Bash finds it, does the manipulation, brings the data back in where I can see it. So I can use the Bash to put the JavaScript requests the file information inside the contents inside a file. Basically, the file becomes a database. You have all kinds of different files. You don't have just like one database. The files become a database or a data access point. So the JavaScript can read those. Right? If I want to manipulate that information, I do it through an input terminal. We could actually do it through a text editor, as long as we know exactly what file name and where to put it. And then Bash will automatically, you can do it manually clicking a little execute me2pc command down here, or on how it's set up, to process that, and now the data is available again. The data is put into the file, and then when you refresh, you see the new data. So this could be a whole kind of cloud-based if it's on the internet, right? I just think there's a lot of possibilities with what I'm trying to develop right now. I don't have all the answers and all the possible uses, but this is one of them, having a flatline database to be able to do that. There is another one that I'll be talking about maybe next week sometime concerning template creation. All right, well, thank you. Like, share, comment, ask questions. I'll put my email address and the link to this particular page, and anyone wants the code. I'm not putting this out for the public because I need to change it before I do that, but you're welcome to have it if you just request it. All right, thank you.